Okay, first of all, let's see the introduction of the Asian Football Cup. So before we know what is the Asian Football Cup, we need to know what is Asian Football Confederation. The Asian Football Confederation is governing body of Asian football and one of six federations making up FIFA. The AFC is responsible for running football in Asia among its various responsibilities. They have the duty to regulate the game, draft new laws to improve the sport, implement the law, boost the grassroots and youth football, and also they do the conduct major competitions. Australia was approved to join the AFC in 2006 and transformed from the Oceania Football Confederation to AFC. This year, Australia has successfully been approved to host the 2023 Asian Football Cup. In order to effectively engage more Australian residents and different communities in the football sport and promote football culture in the whole country. As AFC committee focusing on multicultural engagement elements, we have made two strategic activation plans. Before we start to see our strategic plans, let's review the definition and the understanding of multicultural engagement firstly. Multicultural engagement, as many researchers mentioned, community support is one of the most significant factors influence whether the event can be successfully and effectively operated, and it requires organized with positive perception and emotion from community people. So one of the methods can be used to increase the community support is to increase the community engagement. Since Australia is a multinational country composed by people with various cultural backgrounds, community engagement, also known as multicultural engagement. According to the government file published by Queensland Government Department of Community, generally there are three main issues need to be considered when choose engagement techniques. They are agency issues, community issues, and process issues. For agency issue, it refers to the consideration made by AFC committee, that is, think of political environment, legislation environment, or the community needed to be targeted during the event, and other five factors which you can see listed on the other side. For the community issue, we need to consider demographic features. For example, what percentage of the community is employed and when do they work? Capacity of engagement is another thing we need to consider. For example, do community members have the knowledge needed to participate? And other four factors you can see on the other side. For the process issues, it's more focused on the questions needed to be consulted when selecting engagement techniques. For example, the information sharing techniques, which we usually use for the marketing and promotion. The information sharing techniques include a lot of useful methods, such as advertising, online information processes, briefings, educational and awareness programs, and many other different ways. All of them have their own strengths and weaknesses. For example, in 2015 Australian Asia Football Cup, the AFC had arranged 200 community ambassadors to different communities and co-organized the football relevant events. Combined with community social media promotion, they successfully maximized the community awareness and selling tickets to the 2015 Australian Asian Cup. However, many of their plans have not been maintained to become a legacy and bring long-term influences as they planned it. For example, the educational plan operated in the school and community didn't be kept after the 2015 Australia Asian Football Cup, which is also one of the questions we need to pay attention when we're planning the 2023 Australia Asian Football Cup. And this question also happened in the Monsoon Cup in Malaysia. That is, the government failed to communicate with different communities and lose their enthusiasm of residents on their games. So, for our strategic plans, we will learn from both of these two mega events and put both long-term and short-term strategic activation plans to help our multicultural engagement heart move smoothly.
We have two main strategies for this multicultural engagement across Australia. One is the long-term strategy, that is a football league. Another one is the short-term strategy, that is a football festival. The long-term strategy is the football league, targeting different schools from Australia 1 year before the Asian Cup, aiming to increase the multicultural engagement and promoting the Asian Cup. To be detailed, school will be divided into 8 groups based on which state they are living in, and then they are voluntarily registered to attend the competition with other schools in the same state. For instance, Chinese community and Vietnamese community in Brisbane are located in Sunnybank and Inala, and the school in these two communities can have a match. After that, some skilled players from different schools will build a new team, and then they will have a competition with other teams. Finally, the top 4 teams will attend the finals at this festival. All teams will have more communication opportunity from the league. After the final, one big party for all the players joining the league game will be held to celebrate the success of the league. Therefore, this competition can boost the attention and interest of football across Australia, and the promotion of Asian Cup to different communities will start 1 year before the Asian Cup. Furthermore, this can increase the communication between different communities and reach the purpose of cultural engagement. The short-term strategy is to hold a football festival 1 month before the game starts in hosting city as a warm-up activity for Asian Cup, which is the first festival focusing on Asian Cup and the first national football festival in Australia. This festival targets communities with different cultural backgrounds, such as Chinese, Korean, and European communities, who are in the hosting city or would come to the hosting city to attend the Asian Cup. Various activities are provided in this football festival, including kids fun football games, football culture sharing, primary football knowledge education, and international cuisines as a hooker to attract visitors from different cultural communities. And thus, this community can learn more knowledge about the football, having direct communication with each other, and experience different culture at the festival. Additionally, visitors can purchase some special package of Asian Cup tickets at festival, such as family package or 3-day pass, which they can only purchase at the festival, in order to promote our festival in Asian Cup.
First of all, there will be an area setting for sharing football story or football stars from different teams. To be detailed, the festival will invite football stars from different teams to this area and share their personal football experience, including training process, interest, or experience to the visitors. Since over 40 teams will come to the hosting city at that time to attend Asian Cup, it will not be difficult to invite them. Therefore, visitors from different communities can understand different football culture backgrounds. For example, some teams prefer teamwork while others focusing on individual performance. Additionally, some locals from different communities can share the football's history of their own culture. For example, Chinese community can introduce 蹴鞠, which they believe is the originality of football, and show some video clips from Chinese movies or TV series to visitors. And thus, this activity can make people understand that football is not only a sport but also a culture. This activity may usefully attract attention from people with different interests. Therefore, visitors from different communities can understand various football culture of their countries and improve the multicultural engagement. The second activity is football shooting games for the youth to raise their interest of football, and hopefully this can be the reason for them to start playing football in the future. Each candidate can have different prizes based on the number of football successfully shooting in the goal. In order not feeling disappointed if they fail, one participation award is set to cheer them up. The last activity is football knowledge education program, targeting not only kids but also adults who would like to know more about football. In this activity, the festival would invite some staff to share some basic knowledge about football, such as the rules of football game, some popular football competitions in the world, the originality and development of football. Additionally, the festival would invite some local restaurants that provide food from different cultures to their food on site, such as Korean food and Japanese food. Since the festival provides an opportunity for visitors to taste cuisines from different cultures at one time, this is a hooker to attract visitors, including Aussies who would like to taste different cuisines and different cultural communities who would like to have traditional hometown food. Therefore, this festival can attract people with different cultural backgrounds.
As for stakeholders of festivals, government is important as they are the providers of funds and can help the organization to undertake the major project. It mainly provides the support to the event. The festival needs to get the license from the government, and the government might also provide the venue to the festivals. In addition, the councils are broken up into different departments, officers that manage the recreation facilities, food safety, compliance to the traffic bylaws, and so on. All of these things are related to our festival. Media as another stakeholder which plays an important part in our football festivals. Local television station, broadcasting station, and newspaper office are referred in these stakeholders. Media mainly plays a marketing role during the festivals. Before event, the festival marketing team would find out the activities which may create great impact. Media receive the promotional film and news from the marketing team and broadcast them in TV. The side interviews and news promotes the festival, and they also have the media get higher audience rating. In addition to the traditional TV mediums, social media also play an important role in stakeholders. For instance, the Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram are some useful social networking for marketing our football festival. Our organization is the third stakeholder of the festival. In football culture sharing and primary football knowledge activities, AFC needs to encourage different cultures to have a staff and introduce their own football cultures. In addition, we also need to encourage the local community to provide the professional staff to teach the football knowledge. Sponsors and some small business are also stakeholders of our festivals. Sponsors provide the funds for the operation of the whole festivals. In international cushions activities, lots of small business will have the booth in our festival. As for the stakeholders of Teenage Football League, to push the implementation of the strategy in Australia, AFC Australia should work with the local football association and the local government. Outline the major football association like Football Brisbane, Victoria Amateur Football Association, and AFL Queensland. They can provide professional support for the match like football training, coach, and referees. As mentioned in the strategy part, local communities like the Chinese community in Sunnybank, Brisbane should select a football team from the community like Brisbane State High to match between communities. Schools can play an important role in communities' match, match process because of the venue providing. Other local communities and schools should be targeted and promoted to join the Football League. Promotion from the communities and the schools is rarely helpful and directly. AFC Australia should take full responsibility for this event and support by human resource staff, coaches, volunteers, and securities. For the government sectors, all of state governments in Australia and city councils would be contained and cooperated.
For instance, Queensland State Government and Brisbane City Council. For the license issues, we should apply the City Council and the State Government to make the Football League run smoothly. To marketing teenager football league, social media such as Facebook homepage website, Twitter and local media like the radio station, newsletter, TV advertisement, and bus station advertisement can be covered. Flyers, posters, and other in-kind materials can be promoted and sent to the schools. Ask for the school's operation about promoting the activity.